ऑन दिस कॉल।
हो गया हो गया हो गया हो गया। मेरा माइक ऑन है।
वो इको का ध्यान रखना। ठीक है। नहीं मेरा नहीं।
Good morning, everyone. I hope I'm audible. Welcome to our Sadgunson meet. Today's keynote speaker is Mr. Ramalakshman. He shall be taking risk management and requirements from multiple perspectives, typical risk management practices, risk treatment
हेलो
options beyond mitigation. Yes,
हिमला जी, मेरे चैम्बर में दो चेयर और ले आओ
sorry.
ना, डाइनिंग से जाओ बोले यार, बाहर से ले लो दो चेयर।
So I'm continuing. Risk treatment options beyond mitigation with examples. Integrating risk management required into holistic process, followed by question and answer session. Our agenda for today's Sadgunsan meet is virtual inauguration by Dr. Sundar Kataria, evoking the blessing of deity, chanting of Gayatri Mantra, introduction of a speaker by Ms. Yachika Nubale, presentation by Mr. Ramalakshman, question and answer session, and then closing session. I would like to give you a brief introduction of Dr. Sundar Kataria. He is a chairman and managing director of ICS Group Companies. Sadgunsan is conceived and led by Dr. Sundar Kataria, driven with the mission to elevate the quality, safety, and environmental awareness levels of our industry. Sadgunsan is a series of educative, informative events aiming to eliminate professionals on a possible solutions to the current issues of industry and economy. Designation and organization.
हेलो हाँ
Yes,
हाँ हाँ, वो
Hello.
तो उसी पहली थी मेरे रूम में, प्लास्टिक की, ब्लू वाली।
Please
इधर
unmute yourself. Please mute yourself. If
एक ही बेल नहीं वैसे तो।
okay, I'm continuing.
हमारी
Dr.
ये
Sundar Kataria, he is a chairman and managing director of International Certification Services Private Limited. His academic qualification include mechanical engineer, AMIE, honorary doctorate in business management. His experience include nuclear RAPP. He started his career in building India's first nuclear power plant at Rawalpata, Kota, Rajasthan. Oil and gas EIL. He contributed in developing India's first oil and gas field at Bombay High since its inception. DNV. He was a head of industry and offshore development with DNV for 2 decades. ICS. He's a founder of first Indian conformity assessment and inspection body known as International Certification Services Private Limited, with a provider of a total quality solution under a single umbrella with a wide spectrum of services. His achievement and awards includes Lifetime Achievement Award of NACE Falcon, received several national and international awards.
रिस्क मैनेजमेंट बियॉन्ड मिटिगेशन।
Please join us for the recitation of Gayatri Mantra. I will give you an introduction of our today's keynote speaker, his designation and organization, DGM, CQA and HSSE, Engineers India Limited. Academic qualification includes BE, that is Electronics and Instrumentation, MBA in Operation Management. His area of specialization and experience include certified auditor for ISO 9001, 45001 and 14001. Having 25 years of experience in quality risk HSC management system across industries, has spearheaded and quality circle movement in EIL by managing hundreds of QC within 2 years, has been instrumental in bagging the Golden Peacock HSC award for EIL recently. A decade of experience in IT industry quality system based on CMMI ITIL. I would request Dr. Lakshmanan to take this forward. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, madam. Whether my slide control is with me?
Yes. You can share your screen.
Are you able to move, see the movement of the screen?
Not yet.
Ma'am, when I'm moving my screen down, are you able to see the slide number 2?
Hello?
Are you able to see my slide number 2?
Have you shared your screen yet?
Yeah, I already moved to slide number 2.
We are not able to see your screen.
Okay, I have to share the screen.
Yeah, correct.
Okay, I think now you able to see?
Okay, yes, it's visible. Just make it in a full screen. Yeah, correct. Slideshow?
Yeah.
Okay, correct.
Once again, good morning to everybody, and thank you to ICS and the entire team of ICS for giving a wonderful platform to share our thoughts.
Thank you so much.
Sorry, ma'am.
You can continue.
Okay. So when I initiated this topic in my mind, like what I should talk about risk management, I know very well that risk management, most of the participants are aware because nowadays it is being covered under ISO 9001, also 31001 also, and even in the other standards, 45001 and other standards also. And apart from that, many people are having the PMBOK knowledge. That is the project management professional body of knowledge also. So what two things which I wanted to deliver through this training, or rather webinar, whatever you call it. One is the holistic approach. That is, when I say holistic approach, whatever the risk management is telling across all these ideas like 31,000, 9,000 and 14,000 PMBOK, all these put together, how the organization has to imbibe the risk management into its own processes. That is one part. The second most important part is that somewhere I have got a feeling that many people conclude that risk management is only about mitigating the risk, whereas it is not. So there I wanted to delve deep into that and see that what are the different risk treatment options. When I say treatment options, some of you may be aware, some of you may not be aware. But for the benefit of the people who are not so aware about this, I will take some time to explain. For some of you who are already aware, we will see some examples. I try to put some examples which will be quite interesting. So in a nutshell, actually, at the end of the next 45 minutes or 1 hour, I will be covering only these two parts. One is the risk treatment options, where I will say that risk treatment is not only mitigation, it goes beyond mitigation. So what is that it goes beyond mitigation, that we will go in the detail. And the second part is that we will see the risk management as a holistic approach, because we are getting the requirement from multiple angles. So how to homogenize or how to synchronize all these requirements into one single platform or one single risk management for a given organization. So overall, these two topics we'll be covering today with some examples. And then and there also small nitty-gritty things I found that what the risk management theory says and what we practice in our day-to-day life, there could be some differences. Maybe it is very difficult to overcome that differences. I do agree that, including me, it is very difficult to overcome. But I thought that this I can use it as a platform to just trigger those differences. For example, I will start with one of the differences. Uh, Hello. Yes, madam.
No, sir, you can continue. I think someone has just entered in the
Okay,
meeting. That's why.
okay. So, for example, I will start with the difference between the risks and the issue. So, you are all most of you are all doing the risk management either at the organization level or at the program level or at the project level. Now, as per the theory, risk is something whose probability is between 0 and 1. Matlab, it should now never happen, or it should not, you are sure that it's not going to happen 100%. So maybe there is a 50% chance or 60% chance, then you call that event as a risk. Whereas issue is that it has already happened. Like for example, today the rainfall is there. the rainfall already happened, then that is a issue. But for example, today morning you are waking up and the sky is slightly showing up the signs of having a rainfall. Then in that case, the probability is not one. It has not yet happened. But in that case, if you predict the risk that the risk rainfall is going to happen, and because of that, my so and so activities will be getting affected, then that is called a risk. Now, go back and apply. Let us apply to our own workplaces, and let us you just open in your own mind the risk registers, whatever you may be having, or in your colleagues' project, or in your colleagues' organization, or your own organization at any level. As per my knowledge, I'm being very frank here. Most of the risks, in the name of risks, which is being identified, are actually issues, because the people identify what has actually already happened to them. Uh, I can give plenty of examples, like for example, the delay from the vendor side. Okay, so they know that for the last 25 years, the delay from the vendor side is happening, and the delay in construction side. They know that for the past 25 years it is going to happen, and this time also it's going to happen. But have we identified anything new which is not happened so far, but which has a probability between 0 to 100, not 100, but 0 to 100? Then that qualifies as per theory, it qualifies what is called as a risk. But due to practical difficulty, including me and to whomever it may concern, we do it in a way that we consider the actual issues as a risk and go ahead. If the forum want to put some discussions here, I'm most welcome. Otherwise, I will proceed. But this is, of course, one strong difference in my mind, which has been going on for a very long time. I just wanted to share it with the forum. Any thoughts from the forum? We will wait. Otherwise, I will go to the next slide. Anybody wants to say that no, we are actually identifying the risk, and this is the example of that, then I will be more than happy to hear that. Very few cases I have seen where the theoretical risk is actually being converted into the actually a practical project risk or enterprise risk. Otherwise, most of the cases we know that this is going to happen. Okay, anyway, we'll move forward. Later we can take it up during the end for any discussion. Now, coming to the different perspectives which I talked about in the risk management, there are so many perspectives. First one starts with the ISO 31001, that is the risk management guideline. Some of you may be aware, some of you may not be aware. This is the guidelines for risk management by ISO standard. And this is not a certifiable standard for most of your information. Some of you may be knowing. This standard cannot be certified against, right? And the next one is the regulatory requirements from SEBI. That is the SEBI listing obligation and disclosure requirements. So this requirement comes into picture in India when the company is having a market capitalization such that it falls within the top 1,000 companies of the topmost 1,000 companies of the Indian companies, which are listed in the share market, that is the BSE and NSE. So if one of your company is falling under this 1,000, then you are obligated, that is called listing obligations and disclosure requirements. Then you are obligated to fall under this LODR, and you are required to follow few things. When I say few things, it is mainly the SEBI LODR, mainly some of you may be aware, but still I'm repeating. Mainly it talks about the having the risk management committee, and who should be the composition of the risk management committee, and what about the role of the external directors and internal directors in the risk management committee, then how long or how frequently the risk management committee should meet, and what should be their agenda. So these type of things are prescribed by this SEBI LODR. Okay. And now coming to the next one is the project management body of knowledge. This is 100% with respect to project risk management. So PMBOK we call it as. So this is more like a theory which talks about what are the ideal ways of doing a project risk management. And now other three parts we people know very well about this ISO 9001, 45001, and 14001. with respect to the earlier version and with respect to the 2015 version, there is a very strong linkage of these standards with respect to risk management, right? So I don't need to explain to you once again this part. We will go deeper into that as we get along. And the ESG, recently ESG has come, and that is also talking about something about the risk management, right? And there may be few more, but what I have made an attempt is I have made an attempt to list down all the possible requirements of risk management, perspectives of risk management for an Indian company operating within the country with a medium size. So for that, what all could be potentially possible, I have put down. Probably one I have missed out is sorry for that, I missed out the Companies Act 2013. So Companies Act 2013 is also another statutory requirement which talks about the regulatory risk management requirements, what all should be done, right? So, but that is not very heavy requirement. It's also very strong, so very light requirement as such. So why I'm showing this list to you is later in the presentation, I'm going to show you that how we can integrate all of this, because the company is only one single entity and there are requirements coming from multiple sources. And these multiple sources probably don't talk to each other to the best of my knowledge. So it is for the company to integrate all these requirements and bring up a very sleek and very robust system within the company so that all the requirements are addressed as well as the company also gets benefited by addressing these requirements. So that is the yes, sir. Anybody want to ask anything? Hello.
No, no, no.
Okay. Now, if you see the ISO 31000 as such, I've just zoomed into the ISO 31000 part for the purpose of discussion here. ISO 31000, it starts with the scope, context, and criteria of the entity which is being assessed for the risk, then the risk assessment, then the risk treatment, then the recording and reporting, and which is being governed by these two parts, the pillars part, that is the monitoring and review on one part, and communication and consultation in the other part, right? So I will not go the depth of this each and every pillar because that is not the scope of this presentation. Rather, we will go into risk treatment, which is the scope of this presentation. Because the risk treatment I have shown in the yellow color because intentionally, because many people have the myth that risk treatment is only risk mitigation. So the main objective of this presentation is to break that myth. So we will go a few more slides on that. So risk assessment is having another three more steps inside that: identification, analysis, and evaluation. So this I have already told about SEBI LODR regulations. Okay. And here this is about project management professional body of knowledge. I have taken from the PMP body of knowledge what it talks about risk management. See why I have put this planned risk responses. Can somebody? I think I have talked about this quite enough. I want anybody can tell why this has been put in red. Can we unmute the audience, please, for 2 minutes?
Yes, actually, to have these risk responses, we have to have a planning for this.
Yeah, exactly. Why? The reason is that planned responses, it doesn't say that do the implementation or do the mitigation or plan the mitigation. It uses the word responses. That is a very critical word because your responses need not be always mitigation. So all these, whatever the bullets we are seeing from the 1 to 8, these are all typical things. Everybody knows this. There is no big thing. But why these planned responses I highlighted? Because this is here we are talking about plan the mitigation, not plan the mitigation, plan the treatment. But in terms of PMB, okay, it is using a slightly different terminology. It is using the word planned risk responses. The terminology is different, but the action is message what want to give is the same. Now, under planned risk responses, I have just taken the screenshot from the PMBOK. You can see the circle part where it talks about strategies for. Okay, so you can see the under the tools and techniques. You can see the from 4 to 8. You can see how one can plan these responses. This is the more strategic content. So strategies for 3 threats, strategies for opportunities, contingent response strategies for overall project risk, data analysis, alternative analysis, cost benefit analysis. So this, if we get into the depth, it is a very big topic by itself. So for the information, I want to say that under PMBOK, under tools and techniques, where this our planned risk responses is appearing and how it is appearing. That's all we much need to know as far as this presentation is concerned. Because the PMP and PMBOK are all under that risk management are all very big subjects that you know. I think most of you know this. It's all very big subjects by itself, and it has their own exams and all that. Okay. Now, coming back to our 9,000, 45,001 and 14,001, where it is linking with the risk management. First of all, the entire standard is having the basic foundation of risk-based thinking. Then the QMS, in case of 9,001, it should be based on risks and opportunities, the entire standard. Then there is a requirement to determine the risks and opportunities. Then there is a determined to address the risks and opportunities. Then integrate and implement the above actions into the quality management system process. Actions taken to address and risks and opportunities shall be proportionate to the potential impact of the conformity of products and services. Okay. So these 2 red points I wanted to highlight a little bit because others are quite known things. Because I have to have my risks and opportunities to be determined, and I have to address it anyway. That is not thing. That is nothing anything new in there. And the 5th bullet says that integrate and implement the above actions into the quality management system. This is also slightly dicey area because to the best of my knowledge, how many times it is practically possible to integrate all the risks and opportunities into the organization's QMS. Though we all try for it, but it's likely a debatable area. So let us keep it aside. And the last bullet, I like it very much. It says that don't simply blindly put all your energy into the addressing the risks and opportunities, but you see that whether your energy you are going to put, suppose you are going to spend 1,000 man hours or 50 man hours or 500 man hours, whether that is whether that is what to say, whether that is sufficient, whether it is meaningful enough to do that much effort to get the potential impact on the product and confidence in product. Suppose what I'm saying is that you are going to spend suppose 2,000 man hours on a particular integration of risks and opportunities into your QMS. And the final conformity of products and services is a very small factor. It is about, say, labeling your product or nothing directly impacting your the product quality. Then the 6th clause comes into picture. So this leaves to the professional, QMS professional, to check whether this is really worth enough and prioritize accordingly, because there may be some other product quality problem which may require hardly 50 hours or 60 hours to bridge the risks and opportunities, and I can get the green flag and I can go ahead. So I hope I'm trying to give the message. The message here is that don't blindly address all the risks and opportunities into your QMS just because it will address the product quality. Do it on a prioritized basis. When I say prioritized basis, the more effort, the more energy, the more money that you are going to spend doesn't always mean that the potential impact on the conformity of products and services is going to improve that much proportionately. It need not be always proportional. It could be on the other side also. So it leaves to the person who is taking the decision, that is us. It leaves the decision to us that you do it on a proportionate basis. You prioritize it. 50 hours, 100 hours, 1 million rupees, 3 months, whatever the time I'm going to spend, whether it is worth it for conformity of the products and services. So that's what it says. I have many times I think some of you might have noticed this in your own organizations, that how there is a rush to close all the risks and opportunities either in the paper or on the reality and show it as a conformance to the products and services, whether but reality it may be different, right? That is a message that I'm not giving, the standard is giving, high level structure is giving. Now, coming to the integrating risks into business processes, this is also a requirement of ISO 9001. Now, here I given one small example to make the class even more livelier. Uh, so here, let us take the risk is that the high return rate of products which causes reverse pickup and transport expenditure. This is the risk. Suppose some company, let us say e-commerce company is there. They are delivering some products, but the return rate is, let us say, for example, 70% of the products are getting returned. So what will happen that automatically the reverse pickup will increase and the transportation expenditure will increase and automatically the company's profit will decrease. This is a known thing. Now, what could be the action? Increase the detailedness of product specifications based on data from return products. Now, what we can do, the return products are coming, they might have given the reason for return. So somebody might say the labeling is not good, the labeling is not detailed, the size details are not good, the photograph was not very clear. So all these things, it keeps on coming, right? So you might have seen in your own e-commerce procedures. So this way, the three different actions are taken. One is the cap.
कितना कॉल किए हैं मतलब समझे में नहीं आ रहा है क्या करोगे? हाँ?
Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, yes. Sorry, we have this.
Yeah. So what I was telling is that the return detailedness has to be increased. Capture the reasons for the return as per the design format. Offer replacement instead of return. So there is one more way I could do is that instead of return, I can offer a replacement, which we have also seen in our own e-commerce companies. So this is one example of a risk and the action that is taken. I have just my own thought I have put. But the next part is very important. Now, how we are going to integrate this into our QMS? Okay, we have taken the corrective action. Now the return rate has reduced, but how we are going to sustain it by integrating into the QMS? So above actions will become part of the respective procedures apart from being specific corrective actions. So it will not be a one-time action. It will be a forever. So the respective procedures will be updated so that it will become part of the QMS. Also, all possible corrective actions that can be taken to reduce return rate will be included in the respective pages. Apart from this, if there are any more corrective actions coming up, that will also be included in the respective procedures. So why I put this is that in many places in the ISO standards, especially in the 9001, you might have seen this word that integrating the risks corrective actions into the business process. So many times, many youngsters, even in the quality department or otherwise also, many times we feel very difficult to understand this without example. So I just thought that let me put a simple example of e-commerce scenario. What is the risk and what is the action that we have taken and how we can integrate it back into the QMS. So I hope this helps somebody, especially the youngsters. Yeah. So now let us slowly move on to risk treatment. Now ISO 9001, what it talks about risk treatment. Option to address risk can include avoiding risk, taking risk in order to pursue an opportunity, eliminating the risk source, change the likelihood or consequences, sharing the risk, or retaining the risk by informed decision. So this is the as far as the ISO 9001 as it is, I have taken the screenshot. So there are multiple options on risk treatment, not only mitigation. So what are that we are going to see in detail. Okay, so before going much into risk treatment, I'm assuming the audience to be aware of, because I cannot take more time on these topics because these are fundamental to risk management. So I'm assuming them to be more aware of this, how to do risk identification, categorization, then the risk scoring, that is probability into impact, then monitoring and review, communication, consultation, recording and reporting. Okay. So if there is any concern, then we will come back, because if I go into this, then this itself will become a major topic, which is not the concern for us today. Okay. Now coming to the risk treatment, the select the risk treatment, we'll start there, implement the risk treatment, assess the effectiveness, whether it was effective. If not, do the further risk treatment. This is how the risk treatment cycle goes. It's a very simple thing. Basically, we are choosing one particular option. We are saying that whether this is effective or not, then we will proceed further. If it is not effective, then we'll come back and do the another risk treatment. It's very simple thing. Now, this is the most important slide. Whatever the ISO 9001, that screenshot I told, and whatever the other theories are telling, I try to put it in a very simple slide. This is available in the internet also. In terms of the options available with us, one is the mitigation that everybody knows. One is totally avoiding the risk. Another one is accepting the risk as it is. And one is transferring the risk. So now let me clear out transferring. Transferring is very simple. You can always remember the word insurance for transferring. Most of the times, the risk transfer happens through sharing the risk to the insurance party. Like I am having the risk of a health issue, or I am having the risk of my property being taken away by the fire. So what happens? Most of the times, the people do the easiest way of risk treatment, that is transfer. We are all doing it in a day-to-day life, but without knowing it in a theoretical way. So we are all doing this transfer. So let us keep that aside. It is very easy. And mitigation also, I think I did not tell you, because mitigation is the common way of addressing it. Because as soon as I get a risk, I calculate it is a probability into impact. Then I want to reduce the mitigation by reducing the probability or impact. So I put some actions within my company and reduce the mitigation. And next one is avoid. Avoid is a slightly tricky one. Avoid is that I simply keep quiet. I don't do anything at all. I just see, okay, let the risk come. I will face it, whatever it may be. If it may affect me, that is also fine. It doesn't affect me, that is also fine. But I'm going to face it as it is. So that avoid is a slightly tricky one. And accept is also slightly tricky one, because accept is equivalent to mitigation only. Accept is same as mitigation, but I will not take any action against any mitigation. So in the next slide I have seen, you can see it more clearer. Avoid a risk is eliminated by not taking any action that would mean the risk could occur. That's what I told right now. Accept is a risk is accepted with no action taken to mitigate it. Risk transferred via contract to an external party who will assume the risk of organization's behalf, that is insurance transfer. Mitigation is risk reduction is when a reduction risk becomes less severe through actions taken to prevent or minimize its impact. So probability and impact, most probably we work on the impact part, that anything in the project is getting too delayed, then how I can how I can arrest the delay by closely monitoring the contractor, closely monitoring the supplier, or closely monitoring the manpower supply agency, whatever it could be. So that is that mitigation is what most of us, 80% of the time we do the mitigation. Okay, though theoretically there are three other options. So this is what we told. Consequences ko change. We can change the consequences, reduce the likelihood.
Please mute everyone.
Hello.
Yes, you can continue. We have muted everyone.
Okay. So risk mitigation is all about this. I think we talked about already, more or less. We don't need to go further. Mostly it is about reducing the likelihood, removing the risk source, and changing the consequences. This is what we are doing most of the day in and day out, most of the times. Now, how to determine this, when to choose a risk treatment? That is also quite interesting and important. The first starting point is, what is the company's objective? What are the resources available with you? What are the view of the other stakeholders? And what is the organization's commitment? So now, let us say I'm not having any resources to, let us say, monitor my contractor, or anything to do to improve my manpower supply, or nothing I can do about it. So I cannot choose the option of mitigation, because it is a foolish option, because I cannot do anything. I don't have any resources to do about it. So instead, I should say that I should go for the fallback on the other options. Either I should accept the risk as it is, or I should avoid the risk. So whatever may be the scenario, or I should maybe transfer the risk to other person. So something like that. So here, the 4 bullet points, whatever you are seeing, these are the triggers based on which you will decide that which action to take with respect to risk treatment. And one more interesting thing theoretically is, one risk treatment can trigger another new risk also. So it will get slightly complicated. I will not get into that. But just for a theory purpose, one risk treatment option can trigger. Suppose I am treating one risk. On the way of treating one risk, I may get into another risk also. That's what it says. Okay. So that's in a theory that let us not get too much depth into that. But main message what we want to see is that your risk treatment option decision will be based on your company's objectives, your available resources, and the stakeholders' views, and the organizational commitment. So risk treatment plan typically contains all these things. Rationale for the selected plan, expected benefits, proposed plan, constraints, monitoring, and timeline. Okay, now comes the case study. Just 3-4 case studies we will have, and then I think we can close it. But this case study I feel important, because that is when we feel that the message really has reached you. Company A plans to enter Indian automotive market, passenger car market, to manufacture, market vehicles. There is severe competition in the market already, with major players fighting for their market share and profit. Company A does not know-how of Indian passenger car market, neither does it have any technical know-how. It does not have funds to put up a plant. It was formed in 2022 by IITians as a startup. The objective of the company was to make EV-related technology for the Indian market. It has currently 10 crore in hand, remaining of INR 9,000 crore to be funded for this plant. What is the risk? Inability to garner revenue and enhance profit, leading to erosion of invested funds. So I think the company's background on the risk which is facing is that it is inability to garner the more revenue, and hence it is unable to proceed further, and it is leading to the erosion of the invested funds. Now the task for you is, having seen these 4 or 5 options, now we have to choose which is the risk treatment option for this. Avoid or accept or transfer or mitigation, or take higher risk for opportunities. That 5th one I left out. I will talk to that about that later. I think I request the ICS team to slightly 2 minutes just to allow the audience to unmute. Maybe whomever wants to talk can just raise the hand. You
Yes,
can see
I
here the
request.
company.
Okay. You
Yeah,
can
go ahead.
continue. No, I was going to say that I request everyone, if you have any questions or queries, you can ask directly or put it in a chat box.
Yeah. So once again, I'm saying this company A is having the EV technology basically initially started by IITians. Yeah, tell me, madam.
Avoid, sir. My option is avoid.
On what basis you are saying it's avoid?
They don't have any, neither does it have technical know-how. Means they don't have any technical knowledge for that.
Right. Yes, yes, go ahead, you are right, yeah. Good. Okay, anyway, so see, the message that we want to give is what is the right answer or wrong answer, that is not important. What I want to say is that earlier slides I have told you that choosing the risk treatment based on the company's business proposition. So the company's business proposition is hardly they are having 10 crore rupees in hand and they want to set up a passenger car vehicle factory and they don't have any idea about the market share and profit, how much, nothing, absolutely nothing. They have one EV technology. So they are very much far behind taking this risk. So obviously, if they want to accept or transfer or mitigate, then they will be in a major problem as far as this case study is concerned. Now, very quickly, let's come to company B. Company B wants to enter Indian market for MRI machines. It is already having approved design and the same has been already proven overseas. Its strong financials is another plus. Company has already identified land, personnel, and also marketing plan. However, company is worried about losses arising out of malfunction of its machines, leading to huge claims. Risk is huge claim due to malfunction of MRI machines, leading to erosion of financial position. So, what would be the risk treatment? This is a slightly different case now when compared to the previous case study. What is the company's problem now?
Yes, sir. They can go for the insurance. They can transfer.
Yes, you are
For
right.
the old machine, they can transfer and they can for the insurance and
Yes,
they can
you are right.
start the plan. I think
Yes.
so.
See, the answer is not important. Once again, I'm saying you are starting from the company's basics, business, where it is, how much money it is having, what is the strength in its in the technology or in the field it is there, and later you are moving on to the answer. That is most important. But rather in real life, you ask yourself in your own company whether you are doing like this in a hurry burry, how you are doing the risk treatment or risk mitigation. So that is the whole message that we want to give. It should be linked to the business scenario. The answer is not actually important. And in this case, either they can do the transfer or they can do the mitigation also by putting in more quality checkpoints, by rigorous quality assurance mechanisms, by going for some certification. So that is also
Uh,
possible. So they may go for
okay.
risk mitigation also. Both are possible.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, sir.
Now another quick one. Company E has an annual target of 500 crore top line. Okay. Annual target for 24-25. It has already clocked 280 crore from the top line and is fully confident of clocking 700 crore of the top line this year. The company received a bid from the company F, a partner of its long-standing client. The project is in the area of EV batteries, in which the company has no know-how, no expertise. However, company F is pushing E to bid for this project and partner in this EV journey. This seems to be an excellent opportunity under the company to embark into this EV space for which it belongs, as long as there is no penalty for failure in the contract. Failure of EV project with project F due to lack of competency. This is the risk. So I will quickly explain what is happening. This company 500 crore target annual target, they are already achieved 280 crore and they are very easily seems to reach 700 crore also. That means they can easily achieve their overall annual target. But suddenly one new requirement has come from another company F. They want to join hands with them in the EV battery space with respect to the technical competency. So they want to make a bid together. And this seems to be a good opportunity for the company E to make a bid together. And as such, there is no penalty for failure in the contract. This is also already given. There is no penalty in case the contract fails. as far as company E is concerned. So the risk is failure of EV project with company F due to lack of competency. So what would be the mitigation? What type of risks you see, and what is the should be the ideal mitigation?
They are getting better opportunity to meet their target or surplus their target. So they must have a mitigation plan for achieving the competency level also parallelly.
Yes, yes.
Since they are having capability of their background.
Yes, actually, they are, put it in simple words, they are not going to lose anything by this, because anyway, they are already achieved their top line, and they are very little to lose. So when this type of scenario mitigation, or there is another one that we will going to come right now, take higher risk for opportunities. That I will explain just shortly after completing this. So these two, one of these two options based on the scenario, that would be better. Here you are not going to avoid or accept or transfer. That is will be a very wrong choice. Okay, this is the last one. Company C plans to set up a BPO operation in the outskirts of Delhi. Company has already performed detailed analysis of manpower ability, cost, building cost, etc., etc. Our company came to know that the recent events of erratic weather conditions in Delhi, which in turn impacted the transport infrastructure and caused discomfort to the citizens. Company feels that the operation may not run as smoothly as expected. Okay. Now the risk is inability to run the BPO operation smoothly due to erratic weather. I need not to have to explain to you this. This everybody knows. So now you tell me which could be the answer for this.
Avoid.
Avoid.
Because this is well known to them. This the cost building and other building cost and manpower availability is a difficult task. So they
Right.
should avoid and go for some other area.
Sir, actually, they have already done detailed analysis of all these things. Now the only surprise element is only the erratic weather, which has come recently. Otherwise, they know everything about the cost, everything about the city. So that's why in the second sentence you can see company has already performed detailed analysis of manpower ability, cost, building cost, etc., etc. That is already
They,
taken into
then
account.
they should accept it.
Ha. Yes, that is the analysis type. See, in one you cannot transfer anything. To mitigation also very little possible, because you cannot mitigate the weather as such. The chances of mitigating the weather is also very less. So in that case, you have to simply accept it and go ahead. Any other thoughts? I'm trying to pull your thoughts into the way which this treatment is selected.
Sir, mitigation also possible. Means nowadays work from home is also possible as
Okay.
BPO is concerned.
Okay. Fine. Okay, sir. That is debatable actually, because it varies from companies to company. Mitigation, yes, it may be sometimes possible, but it again problem is that they have already invested in the building. Then what will happen to the building? Anyway, it's a it's a debatable thing. Anyway, the answer is not important. Your thought process is important. Suppose they already built the building for 1,000 crores, then what will happen to that building? Anyway, good for the thanks for the answers. Sure, I have one more. Sir, how are we doing on time? Can we take 5-10 minutes more, sir? I see.
Yeah, we can.
Yes,
Okay.
sure.
Okay. So now this is the last case study. Company E is a civil construction company with high ambitions of becoming 5,000 crore company in 3 years. Its current top line is 800 crores and it's mainly operating in India. Company received a bid from major steel manufacturer in UAE for a contract value of 4,900 crores. The contract is spread over 7 different sites in locations spread across each emirate. Company has no previous track record in UAE nor any foreign country. Company is totally unaware of the regulations and regulations regarding the UAE region. Our company is aware that the HSE regulations and the other rules are robust in UAE region and penalties are also heavier than company. That company would have to totally wind up its operations existence in case of heavy penalty apart from damage to its brand name. So here the risk is inability to meet revenue targets due to low order book. So first of all, we have to see what is the target. Target is a 5,000 crore, and currently now they are in a 800 crore, and now they are getting 4,900 crore order. That means they will become 5,700, which is much more than the target. But at the same time, it comes with a lot of risk. So this is how we should start with. Now you see the options. It's possible to avoid it or accept it or transfer it or mitigate it.
I think it has, should be avoid because again the target is too high and the
Okay.
risk is also very high.
Okay. Any other thoughts? In my just my view of this is that first we should assess the impact of this HSE risk, how big or how small it is, and convert it into like possibly in terms of money terms or the probability terms, that how far we are able to mitigate this or not by putting all possible efforts in terms of HSE compliance, certification, audit, etc., etc., etc. So if we feel that we can make it to bring it under control and the probability of doing this is more than 50%, then I think we should go ahead, because now our current top line is only 800 and 5,000 is much beyond. So only thing is we should assess the HSE risk in quantities, and based on that we can take a decision whether we can able to mitigate it or not, because anyway we cannot transfer it, and if we accept it also there is no use. So we have to put some mitigation effect, but how far is that mitigation effect, that only will decide. So that further additional information and additional analysis may be required. And at the same time, as Anand sir told, that if you feel that the marketing team gives you information that no, we are having a good order pipeline in the domestic market, maybe in the next 3 months or 6 months or 10 months, I am going to give you another order books of 1,000 crores or 500 crores continuously, then that makes a lot of difference to the risk treatment decision. Then that makes a lot of difference, though that information is not given here. So that case, the people will have to look at it totally different. So I'm going to get a good market in the local itself, where I am quite comfortable and where I can meet my target. So then I will go by that, and I will meet my target. So that is how this linkage between the business and the risk treatment is happening. Okay. Now I was talking about this. One more is coming. Okay, sir. Last one. Here I will talk about that take risk for higher opportunities also. Before that only I will talk about that. See, as a individuals, we are having all of our having that stock market and the mutual fund portfolio, everything. So now at one point of time, let us say person X is having the stock market portfolio reaches let us say 1 crore. Okay? And his age is let us say 55. Now he puts an Excel sheet and he thinks that for the rest of his life, as far as his other savings are concerned and everything, he needs only 70 lakhs for a very comfortable life for whatever reason. Now he's already having 1 crore. Now what will be his decisions for the future investments? Whether he should go for a very risky business like a stock market, mutual funds and very risky things, or whether he should go for very conventional things like the fixed deposit and bonds and things like that. today at 55 years and he's having 1 crore already. And he feels that as of today, my Excel sheet is telling me that I need only 70 lakhs for whatever reason. Let us not question that. So what should be his approach?
They should take higher risk for opportunities.
Exactly. Exactly. So this is the answer I was expecting. So it's not that always that I have to do mitigation. Sometimes I have to do the reverse, 180-degree opposite I have to do. So I'm having a same thing applies for companies also. I'm having a very good balance sheet. I'm having a very good reserve. So I'm trying to entering a new region. And why not I take more risk? Because my yearly targets are already achieved. My shareholders are already happy. So my employees are already happy. So I should take more risk. So this scenario also I have tagged with the every time. This scenario may also come in our regular life as well as in the business company life. So this also you need to keep in mind. Though it is not there, actually in some theory part it is there. That is why I put it there. Take higher risk for opportunities. That means you are intentionally, willingly, knowingly taking higher risk to capture more opportunities. Suppose that person who is at 55, he is not investing anymore in stock market or something, and then he is simply sitting with his 1 lakh and putting in the FDs, then he is not doing a wise thing. Every one of you knows that, right? The same theory we are applying here to the companies also. That's what I trying to say. That applies in many cases also. Okay. I try to put some example as far as that is also concerned, but somehow we deviated from that and anyway, I'll show one more example. Okay, sir. Last example. Company D runs a Q-commerce business. Q-commerce business means this Zepto, Swiggy, all those things, right? It delivers FMCG products to customers through the app. FMCG products contribute 95% of the company's business. It found that many customers are returning products due to product quality issue. Company has to pay refund due to no question asked refund policy. That means company cannot ask any question. If anybody complains, simply it has to take back the product and give 100% money. Company does not get this money paid by from the FMGC company. That means the original owner of the product, that means the Hindustan Lever or the Colgate, they will not give the money back to the company. Company has to pay, company D has to pay from its own pocket. Profit erosion is the risk due to high volume of return in FMCG products since full refund are to be paid. So what could be the treatment for this?
Mitigation is the only treatment here because they have to think why it is happening and what all policies they can go any review into policies and other
Yeah. So
terms and conditions.
actually, this is very interesting case. Actually, I will tell you in my own life this happened. I will not name the company. Uh, Earlier they used to take the refund that window. They used to keep it around 10 days or something. So that time they don't have any idea which product when it was delivered and why somebody is returning and why we are taking whether it is correct or not or what, who is the person who is doing. Then they did something like this. They narrowed down the return window to 48 hours. So that means they're totally in the track of what is happening in the 48 hours. So within the 48 hours only they will accept. So this is called mitigation. This is one of the mitigation action in terms of they are tweaking the policy. They have beautifully tweaked the policy such that the person cannot come back and say after 48 hours that I am having some problem with this product. No, they will not accept it. They will say that it's supposed to be given within 48 hours. So this is one just example action, mitigation action I am telling. As Anand sir told that it is very difficult to, apart from mitigation, we cannot do anything much about this because transfer is also not possible, accept is also not possible, avoid is also not possible. If you accept, the company will totally fall down. Are we getting what we are trying to say? So in this case, mitigation and very strong mitigation actions are required. Okay, this is one slide to just to sensitize you between the difference between acceptance and mitigation. So acceptance and mitigation are very closely related, but they are not exactly same. Acceptance means you are doing with some efforts, but mitigation means you are putting more efforts to totally control the risk and bring it back to under your control and reduce the reduce the impact and reduce the effect due to the risk. Okay. Now, whatever we talked until now, I just put it in a very simple flow chart. First, we would start with the company objectives. Then, is the company objectives hampered due to this risk? Yes. Then, it is between avoid, mitigate, transfer, whichever is cheaper, better. Then, avoid means what? Mitigate means what? Transfer means what? That we have already seen. And then continue by mitigating and review. Just whatever we have seen, I have just simply put it in a flow chart. So, most important thing is that these company objectives and whether it is hampered by this risk. Yes, then only you will go for this. Otherwise, you will take a different action, But if the company objective is not affected, why I should put my energy and why I should put the mitigation, why I should do the avoidance or transfer, blah, blah, blah. Why I should do that? Okay, so this we have already seen. This I have already told you. Yeah, this is the last slide. Earlier I had told you about holistic view of the risk management from different angles, right? So here you can see the center one, the brown colored one is the typical ISO 31001 flow. Initially also I told you. And then if you see the risk management committee, that overseeing part, risk management committee, this is coming from the SEBI regulations, right? And this project risk management PMBOK, this is coming from the project risk management body of knowledge. And communication consulting, this is also coming from SEBI RMC. This is also coming from SEBI RMC. And this is the internally, this is the ISO 31001. And our own people, that is the QMS, how it is related to this, because once you do the risk treatment and risk assessment, and you are going like this, right? Risk assessment, risk treatment, and implement risk treatment plan. That time you will feed it into the QMS. For this also, I have shown you one example about that delivery of the e-commerce, what are the various risks or problems happened, and how the various problems are fed into the risk management system. That is again, that is what we are talking about. That is linked to the QMS here. So this is I thought whatever we understood right now is the one single picture depicting all the perspectives of the risk management we have so far. Now, if not all, most of them. And our wish should be, or our ideal target should be, that one risk management procedure, if you write, it should engulf or it should address all of these at one shot. Nowadays, maybe some of you may be writing risk management procedure for addressing a particular requirement, maybe for SEBI, maybe for Companies Act, maybe for ISO, maybe for somebody else. So as one by one starts creeping in, we should integrate all of them and bring it to a single holistic structure so that its function is a smooth and robust. That was the whole idea of talking about this holistic structure, right? I think hope you were able to realize what I'm trying to say. Do we have still more time?
You can continue with.
Sorry, madam.
You can continue with the presentation.
Can I take 5-10 minutes?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, now the main topic is over. This is just a casual discussion you can consider. Main topic I have covered whatever I planned to cover. One is the risk-based loading in bids. That suppose I want to bid for a particular project 100 rupees, and but I know that the risk associated with this project is very high, though it may happen or may not happen. Then intentionally I will quote this project for 120 rupees. This may be known to most of you, but for the purpose of benefit of others, I am just sharing. This is called risk-based loading. Then there is another concept, not quoting for bids due to huge risks involved. Same thing, right? If the project is having a huge risk, then I will not. For better risk treatment, risks shall be identified and assessed before bidding operations. Okay, so before doing any risk treatment, risk should be identified and assessed. Then insurance we have already discussed. Acceptance is considered as a bad word. This is what I have been telling from the slide number 1. So unfortunately in the industry, the people are seeing that when I accept a risk, I mean it's a bad thing. No, it's the theory doesn't say like this, and that is what we have seen in the last 1 hour, right? So acceptance, we have do prudent acceptance. We should do it acceptance in a wise manner. Then it is a proper risk management. It is not that every acceptance is a bad word, and every time when I accept a risk, I am doing something bad. No, not like that. Risks are assessed in general parlance, not against company's objectives. Yeah, this is another mistakes that we do. Uh, I try to put it in so many places. The risk should not be assessed just on the top of the sentence what it is written. It should be assessed with respect to the company's objectives of the particular year. If my target is this much, if my revenue target is this much, if my return ratio is this much, if I am already able to achieve it, then there is no more a risk for me. Then I can go ahead and play this game, and I can look for more opportunities. Mitigation actions for all risks. Why risk score is not considered for prioritizing? So here what we are saying is that suppose there are 10 risks, and the risk score is there from top to bottom. I am addressing the risks based on the risk score, that is P into I. So the mitigation action ideally should be in terms of effort involved, in terms of money involved, in terms of time involved. It should be ideally from the top to bottom. Whichever is the risk which is having the most, uh, most score should have the highest priority, and hence it should get the most effort, most time, most money. But in practice, how far this happens is you can think for yourself. And how much of documentation is required? Because why I'm using this word documentation is required, because many a times if you might have seen as auditors or even auditees, many times you try to explain to the other person that, sir, this risk we have identified like this, we are doing like this, we are doing like this, but immediately auditor um, will ask for a documentation. But then that is a point of debate. Then immediately it becomes a different discussion altogether. But just I wanted to trigger that issue, right? So integration I already talked about. And one more thing, integration of risk management into business processes. What is a business process? Like our bidding process, procurement process, hiring process, training process, all those things. So how far these risks and their action plans are getting integrated into this process, that is a point to think about. We are always, most of the times, we are not yet mature to have these two integrated together. Whether we have these two, but separate. But what the standard wants and everybody wants is to be integrated together. Many risks are being identified, assessed, treated, monitored, and closed without even writing it on a piece of paper. What is the wrong with it? This is what I already told. This needs some point to ponder. And how much of documentation is required, that I already told about it. Risk management perceived as overhead by the practitioners mainly because of the requirements, because they are not against the anything what we are doing. In fact, it is going to help them only, be it the marketing people or be it the procurement people or be it the HR people. But only the point of concern is the documentation. So I don't have the solution for that. What the standard says that we have to do, but just I want to bring it up. These are all just casual discussions. I just wanted to bring it up in relation to the topic. We may not find the solutions overnight, but just I want to bring it up for the information of the forum. So summary is the risk treatment is the more than just risk mitigation that we have seen. Business process needs to be updated based on risks and actions thereof. Different perspectives of risk management is there that need to be integrated. That also we have shown in the last diagram. That's it. That's it from my side. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for your presentation. Now I request all the participants, if they have any queries or any questions, they can put it in the chat box or ask directly. Participant can unmute themselves.
First of all, Lakshmanji, very much you can say insight, specifically the topic which you have taken, uh, that how the risk has to be done. First, it has to be identified and then has to be assessed, and parallelly it has to be prioritized also. That is the main concern. People are not prioritizing the risk, so that is a good thing. Only thing is, in industry, what is happening that people are misconcepting themselves when the risk word comes with the health, because the industry is not much aware of the Q risk or quality risk or risk related to their business and credibility. So how come this can be more clarified to them in getting direct onto the, because this is the first and first requirement of their until that business and things are not there with them.
Sir, actually, the risk management awareness program, when we give, I think from their invites, we need to start this type of information to be given to them right from the day one. And even the risk management program has to be a holistic. It should cover all the standards. It should cover all the regulations, the SEBI, LODR, Companies Act. It should not be separate. Like today, I'm giving the training for SEBI, LODR, or Companies Act. Tomorrow, I'm giving the ISO 9001 training. Because the word, the risk management, it is spread across these different standards. But ultimately, it is, as far as the company is concerned, it's going to be a single process. So this synergy has to start from the right from the when we are giving the training to the new joinees or freshers or things like that, and then it has to move on forward. But having said that, it's not very easy thing. It's very difficult thing.
Yes, yes. With the exercises which we have gone through, definitely it is have to have a apply mind, and then we have to come on to the conclusion.
Yeah, yeah. It's not a very easy thing, and moreover, it has this mitigation mindset. It has been there for very quite long now. It is very difficult to move it outside the mind. Uh, it has been there for so many years now.
Katari sir has raised his hand. Sir, you,
Yeah, very good evening. Good afternoon. Are you getting me?
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir. Tell me,
Yeah.
sir.
My compliments and appreciation to Mr. Lakshmanan. It was very nicely he has presented, very vital and important. Only my question was related to many times this risk, as you told, the e-commerce and all, the risk cannot be mitigated at their end because there are a lot of vendors, suppliers, logistic, transporters, and how they handle the product. My question was that one, how to control that one, how to mitigate. Second thing, question was that uh, we have, when you have a production, so we should follow the Six Sigma so that we can mitigate the risk. So we can reduce the risk to very lower level. On these two topics, if you can, Mr. Lakshman, you can put a little light on this.
Sir, initially, risk management, when we are giving the training, we are only saying them that you have to do the risk management in so and so way. But what could be the mitigation? Within the mitigation, there could be so many multiple options. Like one of them, as you rightly said, could be implementing Six Sigma or implementing quality circle, or a number of ways could be there. And there is no one single answer to that. So that way, I think we cannot have a generic answer. It depends on the company, the kind of product, the kind of risk they are facing, and things like that. But only one thing I want to say is that we are actually, we as the quality or risk management professional, we are spending most of our time in the integrating between these standards only. Like that is also not fully happened today. Like between the SEBI, Companies Act, ISO, blah, PMBOK, etc., etc., etc. So once we integrate it and then take it to them, and they put it in the correct format and giving the correct answer, then only the correct resolution will happen. And I think we have a long way to go as of today. Because as per my knowledge, most of the industry is still revolving around these terms only, like how to write the quality manual for ISO 9001, or how to prepare the RMC charter for the SEBI. So these things are itself our own tasks, but rather we don't join the hands with ourselves and bring it into a single road. So that is what is required, and uh, it's not so easy.
Yeah, I do agree. Now, problem comes the competence of people. Even I would also put a question mark competence of our auditors also, because
Yeah,
they see document risk analysis there. They don't go through it in detail. They don't see it at the microscope. Really, what are the risk and what are the prioritize, as you rightly says. So one has to really do it professionally, and they should have good competence how to carry out. Now, the ISO 31000 is a very good standard to provide all the details. But unfortunately, this we always go shortcut. I'm sorry to say, it doesn't mean it is not a general thing, but most of cases it has been seen. Leave about the corporate. So how to do it in a small scale industries? That is a big question mark.
yeah, yeah. Yeah.
And to overcome, I'll support sir. And to overcome, we have to have stringent trainings and rigorous workshops, because that will help to generate thinking process. Because this is again a very typical process of risk assessment.
Yes, sir. Actually, a lot of thinking is required, sir. Actually, we are very, my humble opinion is that we are very busy in addressing the requirements of each standard or each regulation separately. But we have not thought through that we can make it as a single integrated requirement and make our own life easy as well as everybody else life easy. So
Correct.
that process is very difficult, but it is time, I think we have to do it.
Yes, Yashika, you can ask.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you so much, everyone. It was nice to meet you, and your presentation was very nice. So I think we can wrap it up now.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Okay. So moving ahead to our closing session, I would like to so ICS is pleased to provide you all its research and development integrated management system, that is QMS, EMS, and OHAS. Excellence in education management. ISO made easy in Gujarati, Marathi, Telugu, and Hindi. So for regarding any of the above books, you can contact on a given contact person on screen and email ID. Please make sure to give a feedback form. Please register on www.sadgunsen.org. Go in, log in, and give your feedback. Thank you for being the part of Sadgunsen. It was a wonderful presentation. Thank you so much, Ramanathan sir. It was nice to meet you.